Many of my viewers have sent me message asking me to produce a video on taxation applicable to NRIs with respect to their mutual fund investments. This is a video which I am doing as requested by you all. In this video, I am going to talk to you about all aspects of mutual fund taxation which is applicable to the NRI community. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Before I proceed, I would like to add a disclaimer here. Please note, it is not a legal advice. It is not a tax advice for anyone to depend upon. This is an attempt to simplify a tax structure which is applicable for mutual funds, primarily for NRI community. Within the explanation that I am giving here in this video, there are many variants which are possible. There are changes in surcharges. There are changes in the income levels of individuals. People could be living in different countries. There could be tax treaties between the two countries, India and the country where you are living. Further, the taxation subject is a domain knowledge of chartered accountants. So before you file your tax returns, make sure that you consult professional chartered accountants, take their opinion, and then file the tax return. Whatever I have said here in this video is just for your understanding and not to follow in total. There are many confusions in the minds of NRI community. One of the things that there is there in their mind is, because we are NRIs, if we invest something from an NRI account, we will get a tax-free status. Is it a true statement? No. Only your fixed deposits that you carry in your bank, which are NRI fixed deposit, the interest you get on NRI fixed deposit is tax-free. For rest of your investments, you have different tax codes. For your mutual fund investment, you are treated same as a resident individual. In fact, you have more stringent TDS, the tax deducted at source, applicable for the NRI community. Another confusion that people have got in their mind is, whenever they see a TDS happening in some of the investment account, they treat this as the tax that they are liable to pay. Please note, TDS is not a taxation. TDS, tax deducted at source, is a preventive step. It is deducting tax in advance, assuming that you will not file the tax return. When a TDS happens, it doesn't mean that is the amount of tax that you have to pay. Suppose if you are not liable to pay any taxes, depending on your income status, then you can claim back the TDS amount that is claimed from your account. Or if you fall into a higher tax bracket and the TDS which is done is lesser, you are liable to pay a higher tax amount. So don't be under the impression that the TDS is the ultimate tax. It is just a preventive step. The actual taxes will be known only when you file the tax return, and you need to be consulting your chartered accountants in this particular matter if you are not well versed with the tax affairs. First, let us look at the taxation which is applicable to your investments in the equity linked mutual funds. Now, if you are holding these mutual funds for a period of more than 12 months, it will be treated as long-term capital gains tax. What will be the long-term capital gains tax which is applicable to the NRI community? The long-term capital gains tax applicable to NRI community is 10% of your profits without indexation. In fact, it is the same rate of taxation which applies to the resident individuals also. Apart from this 10% taxes as capital gains, you also are liable to pay surcharge and a cess of 4% on the surcharge as well. So totally it works out to roughly 11.44%, or in some cases it works out to 11.96% is the taxes that you have to pay. What about the TDS? So when you sell your units and if there are profits, an equal amount of TDS will also be done from your account as a long-term capital gains tax. Now if you have sold your investments before 1 year and if there are profits, then it will be treated as short-term capital gains with respect to equity funds. What is the taxation applicable? Here in this case, the taxes which will be applicable is 15% and surcharges plus cess. So totally it works out to 17.16% minimum, and in some cases it could be slightly higher depending on the surcharge and the cess which gets involved in this. The applicable TDS is also the same amount. Now the taxes applicable to a resident individual are the same. The only difference here is, in case of a resident individual, there is no TDS which is happening. That's all the difference, but otherwise taxes will remain same for the resident individuals and it will remain same for the NRI community as well. When you invest in mutual funds, you not only invest in equity funds, you could be investing in debt funds of the mutual funds, you could be investing in gold funds of the mutual funds. What is taxation applicable to schemes which are not denominated as equity funds, debt funds and other funds? Now in this case, the funds which are other than the equity funds have a different taxation structure. Now here in this case, the long-term capital gains tax which is applicable to debt funds and other funds is when you are holding the units for more than 36 months. That is the time it will be treated as debt funds of the mutual funds. Now what is the taxation applicable here? If you are holding it for 36 months and more, the long-term capital gains tax has one specific advantage. The advantage is you will get a tax benefit with indexation. The profits that you derive are adjusted with the indexation and the remaining profits will suffer at the rate of 20% of the taxes and applicable surcharge and cess will apply. Now if you sell the debt funds of these mutual funds before 36 months, now the profits that you get will have a different taxation. Now in this case, this will become short-term capital gains. If there are profits, it will be added to your income of the year and you are liable to pay an income tax applicable to your slab rate. What happens in case of TDS in such case? Now in case of debt funds, if you are having profits as a long-term capital gains, the TDS that will be applicable will be 22.88%. If it is a TDS with respect to short-term capital gains tax, then the TDS applicable will be 34.32%. Now as I said, TDS is a preventive taxation. When you are filing your returns, your chartered accountants will help you should you pay extra or should you make a claim against this TDS, that your chartered accountant will decide. There is one more aspect of taxation here. If you are invested in any dividend schemes of any debt funds or the equity funds of the mutual funds, the dividend that you get will be treated as your income of the year. So you need to add this dividend you are getting into your income and you have to pay taxes at the slab rate which is applicable to you. With respect to TDS, when you receive dividends, in case of residents, a TDS of 7.5% will be deducted if the total dividend that gets paid to you is more than 5,000 rupees. Whereas in case of an NRI, the TDS that will be done is 20% plus surcharge, roughly works out to about 22.88% will be the TDS which will be applicable if you are getting the dividends. Sometimes some investors will come under some confusion. What happens is they have invested in a systematic investment plan, and when they sell, the total amount for which they have invested and the market value, the total market value will be lesser than their purchased units. In spite of that, the TDS can happen. Generally, TDS should happen only when there is profit. Why does it happen in some of these cases? The answer lies in the systematic investment plan. When you are doing investments, the system will recognize this as first in, first out. You would have purchased units at different price points. If you have sold all the units, even if the markets are under a correction phase and most of the units that you have purchased were at higher price and you have sold it for lesser, there could be some months where you have purchased these units at the lesser price than the rate at which you are selling. So even if a few tranches of your investments are purchased at a lower level, the profits which are applicable to that particular tranches will attract TDS and you can still see a TDS which is happening in your account. So you need to speak to your chartered accountant and they will help you with what needs to be done. Dear viewers, if you are a NRI and living in some part of the world and you want to invest in Indian mutual funds, you can make best use of my services. I have shown my contact number here on the screen. You can reach out to me through a WhatsApp message from any part of the world, and I'll help you to invest in the Indian mutual funds. What about my business model? I have explained everything about my business model in one of the videos titled What is my business? I will be giving a link here to this particular video. You can check out on that video and know my business model and how I operate. Dear viewers, if you found some value in today's content in this video, please like this video. If you are watching this program for the first time, or if you are yet to subscribe for this channel, please press the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and relatives. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I will be back with you with one another video, one another topic very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.